Welcome, ladies and gents, to the DPC SA Division 1. We already saw some of the SA action unfold earlier on today, and now we're jumping into, you could say, the real games, the big games. We are prepared for two great series to come up. And of course, joining with me here at the panel, I think we've got some very handsome fellows over here. We got Wingblade, we got Bowie. Good to see you, gents.
Hello.
Hello. It's good to be here.
Have you had the time to catch up with what's been going on with SA lately, Wingblade?
I've watched a few games. Looks like some teams are doing very well, other ones not so much. I definitely think Hokori is one of the ones that kind of needs to step it up.
Yeah, I would agree. I think overall, Hokori they have pretty good players, but from the drafts that I watched and their gameplay, I don't think they right now stand to the other guys. Infamous is probably top three in SA right now. We'll see how this match fares because it's really important. They're already 0-3, so taking a win here would really help them to at least not get to Division 2.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
I
Hokori
feel like
has
they
been.
kind of.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry. It feels like they haven't really found their style yet. In the matches that I saw, they kept picking different heroes every single game. And I feel like at some point they just kind of need to commit to a strategy and then just build on that. Because starting from scratch every single time is very difficult, especially in the middle of a tournament.
So basically, what I had on my mind was Hokori. They've already faced off against, you could say, top three teams already so far. I could say at least top two at some point as well. So is this kind of like a time to start building your win streak? Because maybe now the competition drops a tiny bit. You could say. I mean, I wouldn't say any game is going to be easier than the one you've played before, but I could say like in terms of a team progressing and learning during the course of a tournament, they should only get stronger, right?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it really depends on the types of teams. Some teams they are able to not really take their losses too personally, and then it's easy to bounce back. But if you do start getting doubts, even when you're losing to the best teams, I feel like some teams are really momentum driven, especially in SA. So it really depends on how their mentality is right now. I think might be even more important than their own gameplay.
hmm Yeah, it really depends on if they went into this Division 1 tournament with the thought we're gonna qualify to the major, we're gonna win, or we're just gonna be here to learn and see how far we get, and every single win is a victory we didn't expect. That being said, I love teams that just go into every single game, every single series being like, this is the start of our undefeated run up until TI.
Yeah, that's the dream scenario, right? That everybody hopes that this is kind of like the turning point. But you never know, actually. When is the actual turning point for your team? Or is there one? Do you just, perform at a stable level? How do you find the stability for your team? And obviously the continuation for everything? Like, is it just one road? Do you have a mixture of everything? You never really know when it turns around. But one thing I would love to see, when we're still on the topic for Hokori, statistics say they have 0 Roche kills so far. So maybe we'll get to see some Roche kills today for Hokori.
Just pick
All right.
Ursa, go level 1. I mean, you're already 0-3. You might as well just fully commit to the memes.
Go Ursa, Lich, Lone Druid, tank the Roche with
Oh
the
yeah,
bear. Get Roche. Easy win.
the good stuff. One thing I was looking at from the other half, where we consider Infamous here, who are 2-1 currently in a tied third place. Their mid player alone, who is 17, he's the youngest mid player of the SA Division 1. He was also born in the same year Dota All Stars came out, so 2004. And it's kind of like we're looking like at the new generation of players. What can you tell us about Alone, Bowie?
I mean, he is. I mean, I guess with most of these young mid players, he can be very, very. He can be very, very greedy at times, and I think that's usually when he shined the most. I think with teams where he had to kind of share the burden a little bit, be more tempo controlling, I didn't feel like his impact that much. And I think this season is probably it's going to be a big challenge to him because I do consider Lumiere to be on the greedier spectrum of carry players in SA. So far, they've been doing really good, but we'll see how well he's able to perform. He used to play a lot of mid morphling. Um, like mid. I think he might have played mid Medusa at some point, and yeah, he's really greedy, but he's also really high skilled.
Right, okay. That's actually kind of a continuation to Wingblade. In the Eastern European Division 2, I got to interview with Melreen, who's also 17, who plays mid. He said he's a
Hmm.
very calm and collective, a very quiet guy who brings, I think the word he used was harmony into the team. What were you like when you were 17 and playing Dota, when you were kind of building up into your competitive career as well?
Um, I mean, I was always pretty calm too. I don't like shouting too much in games, but I have this problem where everything say sounds sarcastic. So that's how I get to annoy people. Um, but in general, I feel like just being very confident is very important for mid players. And what you said, Bowie, about being greedy, I think that is a supremely good tactic for improving. Um, because if you're constantly greedy, then you're really pushing the limits of your hero,
Mm.
and eventually you're gonna run into a brick wall. But it's gonna be very apparent when that wall hits. While if you're maybe a bit less greedy, just more of a like space creating mid, it can be harder to run into that barrier. So you might not use your heroes to the full potential. So I feel
I
like being greedy and being young, being confident is really important for a mid player, and it's always fun to see these players evolve as well.
I agree. I think that's really true. I think in SA, maybe not only in SA, but it's one thing that I perceive with the players that I know myself, is that sometimes like I think what you said really works when you're open to criticism and to understanding that like when you
Hmm.
break that barrier, like the barrier is supposed to be broken so that you can scale back or like change things up. And I think some
Right, right.
players can get kind of drunk in their own ego. I don't think that's the case for Alone, but I totally agree with what you said. It's that really complicated part of Dota, right? Being like
Right.
greedy to that perfect degree where you're still being like contributing to the team.
I remember speaking to Loda about this a while ago, um, when you still had the Taiga Boxy lineup for Alliance. Um, and Loda said that when Boxy got rank 1 on the leaderboard, he started performing worse in games because he
Ha.
like got a really inflated ego and he was like, I am top on the leaderboard right now. And two things happened. First of all, he was way too cocky. And second of all, he stopped playing pubs because he was like, I am first on the leaderboards now. So I want to keep that rank. I'm gonna stop grinding.
Right, so you could say that he met this kind of plateau.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
it it's I was actually talking to Noping's coach, and he told me a really fun story about their mid player Analog. He actually reached rank 9 recently in the South American leaderboard,
Hmm.
and that was right before he joined the team. But when he joined the team, like they really needed him to be playing heroes that he was not necessarily comfortable
All
with,
right.
and he
Yeah.
and he started like spamming mid Earth Spirit, a lot of heroes he was not comfortable, and he started losing a lot. And the coach really feels like those losses kind of affected the last Noping games that they lost, where like he was so like his rank was part of his self esteem, and
Right.
once
Right.
he started like being forced out of that comfort zone, even when he was playing the heroes he was used to in the actual officials, he didn't felt like as comfortable as he used to. I thought it was pretty interesting.
Yeah, for sure. And I think mid is definitely the most mechanically intense role you can play, and especially in those 1v1s, keeping it cool and the mental game is so incredibly important. So I can definitely imagine that losing a lot of pubs before playing officials can affect you a lot.
Hmm.
Even if it's different heroes, it's very momentum based.
I think especially when you're young, right? It takes I think some time to develop the fortitude to be mentally strong.
Hmm.
Some people
Yep.
are born into it. Some people have to develop it.
Yeah, it definitely does make a difference when it comes to players, and also hero pools. One of the biggest hero pools, I could say second highest on average right now, is actually Infamous. I believe they were right behind Lava, who's been picking up the most shares in this tournament. But for Infamous and Hokori, they're both in the top three. And you can actually see from their mid players hero pools like Guts, Mr. Jeans, and Alone, who's also been playing 6 or 7 different mid heroes. So I feel like once we get into the draft, we might either see something unique come up. Maybe we're going to see some of these pairings from both of these two. And still, we don't want to put too much emphasis on just the mid matchup. We've got a lot of interesting players in this team, and I also wanted to kind of highlight, I think this has already been discussed before, but Yuma from Hokori, who is he's German/Nicaraguan, and he has Belgian nationality, so he can also play in IESF, so I feel like that's pretty cool when your entire team has like 4 people from the same region, but you still have a mixture of it to combine with it too. I feel like watching Yuma, the newer player for Hokori, with all the roster shuffles they've had during this year, there's been a lot of analog there for sure, back and forth, back and forth. I think you've had a lot of talks with that, but I'm excited to see how he performs today.
He even has flexibility in his pass for it. Damn, this guy taking it to the next level.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at the teams that Yuma came from, there was a lot of diversity because the D2 Hustlers, that was the team that he played, actually had Yuma, had Davai Lama playing from Europe. You have Theban, that is Canadian but playing in SCA. And now they have like 5 different nationalities in the current D2 Hustlers. So it's pretty cool, actually, how we're getting, slowly getting this across regional players. We have Monster that came from NA to SA to play for Noping too.
Was great casting NA games. Because I remember dodging the Vailama in my pubs, and I was like, why is he here?
Yeah, it always comes as a bit of like, are you in the right region? Like, what are you doing
games. Here? Yeah, like you live in freaking Europe. You can play the best pubs in the world, but you're queuing for NA.
It's kind of like the scenario with Undying, for example, coming to TI, and you have like players from Europe. But hey, sometimes it works. But I was just told that we have a draft ready, so let's dive into the more knowledgeable part and the most interesting part as well for this matchup for Infamous and Hokori. Our best of 3 can start from here.
Storm Spirit first phase ban. That is a new one.
Huh.
I think they're really taking the mid matchup seriously here.
Yeah, we've spoken a lot about the mid matchup, but I guess they're putting a lot of emphasis on it as well. Already Invoker and Storm Spirit. Usually you don't see Storm banned this early, because while he is one of the top mids right now, he also has some very specific counters. Like, you can pick Storm, but then if the enemy picks Lina, you might as well just run down mid.
Yeah, it's really interesting, right? Because usually if you see Storm the first phase, it's probably going to be the team with the 8th pick. So the fact that Infamous banned Storm when Hokori doesn't really have that is kind of weird. I agree. Like, I've seen Storm picked, and then you have like all of those bans, and maybe you can protect the Storm.
A lot of good heroes still in the pool right now. There's the Mars, the Bane, the Monkey King.
The Snappy.
It's gonna be the Snappy boy. I wonder if they're gonna pair this Snapfire with something specifically, like the Legion or the Void, or if it's just a really solid support.
I mean, I think that's the strength of the Snapfire 5th pick, right? You kinda have to accept that they're gonna have one of those combos, or Hokori is forced to get the Mars if they feel like that's too strong.
Yeah, you can't really ban out every single combo with Snapfire, because any kind of stun is kind of a combo.
Yeah, like Infamous has definitely been looking at Mars a lot. They've picked it 4 times in the first phase. And I want to bring out something fun here. When we actually see this Monkey King Shadow Demon pick up from Hokori, that adds to a unique list of heroes. They have not picked a single hero 2 times so far in the course of this tournament in the first phase. So they have all unique heroes. Just 1 game each, and now we got 2 more.
Interesting. That is a very unusual opener from Hokori. Yeah, we were discussing the strong heroes that were left in the pool. I don't think Shadow Demon is starting to become really popular. I've seen some of those really high MMR position 5 players running it, but I didn't really see a lot of Shadow Demon in that say. So very interested to see what's really the...
I think he's one of the most underrated heroes in Dota history. He's just been consistently good, and his kit is so incredibly versatile. He has a BKB piercing slow, he has a lot of laning presence, he has a save. It's pretty
He's
insane
a Swiss
package
Army
for a
knife
support.
hero, right? You have like save and stun and BKB piercing disable, but none of the things that he does it really well. And there you go, the void.
Okay, there we go. Of course, the Shadow Demon is pretty good against the Void in general. But just the combo of the Snapfire Void is apparently too good to pass up on. I don't really blame Infamous.
Has a lot of really good carry matchups in this patch too. He's really good versus Luna, really good versus Terrorblade. Just a still pretty solid carry that you can first phase.
Interesting to see the Oracle banned out. This implies that Infamous thinks that it's a carry Monkey King, which I'm not sure if I like against Void.
Yeah, I agree. Maybe they just feel like the save would compensate for the Monkey King, but I don't feel like he does.
Yeah, at least for Infamous, they have paired up Bane and Snapfire twice. They've won both games when they've had this pair up. So it kind of does look like they might look for a Bane third pick here if it's not banned by Hokori. I don't think you would ban a Bane. You very rarely see that happen.
Usually you always ban carries in the second phase, but Void is already picked up, and it looks like Infamous is not following the trend either. Oh, a Phoenix, man. That is interesting too. Have you seen a lot of Phoenix in
Not
SA?
at all. Not at all. I guess, I mean, it's decent versus Void, and we didn't see a lot of Void in SA. So I guess it makes sense. I do like the Wraith King band, though. Probably one of the few carry heroes that's good versus Void and is popular at the moment.
Yeah, for sure. I wouldn't be surprised to see an OD being banned out as well. Because having two
Ooh.
heroes with saves is so incredibly difficult to play against. Because
Mhm.
even if you do jump like the SD, the OD can still save.
I totally agree. I think it's a really good good ban, and I don't think it would even be bad for Infamous. So if it somehow goes unbanned, I think it is a decent pickup for them because right now they do like a little bit of tower pressure. So having that Meteor Hammer and even the Flex because they don't have their offlaner decided yet, will look pretty good.
Yeah, for sure. Just that flexibility of being able to lane him in mid and in offlane is so nice at the start of a draft. But Hokori taking their sweet time and finally banning out the hero that Infamous loves so much in the mice.
What I kind of like about Hokori's draft is that my earlier point about taking Roshan, they're capable of contesting it. They've got good vision too. I know I'm not getting too stuck with my theory here. I'm just kind of like, I hope to see it, but still they have like a lineup that's capable of contesting too. And good vision.
You know, I'm rooting for Hokori to take Roshan as well. Hokori Roche 2021, let's go.
Well,
They
what does the
have 3
matchup-
games. Okay, so they could still take Roche in the second game or third game of the series.
I'm just kind of thinking theoretically here. If you did put Monkey King as a support or a mid, could you still go for like Ursa here for Hokori, or is the matchup bad against the Void?
It's not great, honestly. I don't know what you think.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of it. It's really easy to get kited. You need to kill him in one go, and if you don't, the fight is basically lost, and that is quite risky. Of course, it depends on what your lineup is and the enemy lineup, but in general, it's very hit or miss, leaning towards the miss.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, I really like Infamous lineup right now. You have this Ogre to activate the Void. Overall, really tanky heroes on the Ogre and Snapfire, so I doesn't really feel like they're really easy to kill. And then Void and Quap are super mobile. I don't think they have that much lockdown. Like as we talked about, Doom not a hero that offers a lot of it. Shadow Demon has a stun, but it's not really a stun, and against the the mobility of Islas Void and Quap doesn't really do that much.
Yeah, they're always gonna need like 2 or 3 heroes to get kills, which is always a precarious position to be in. Would love to see Hokori pick up like some longer stun or another form of setup to make sure they can reliably get out these disables.
I really want the
Right
OD
now it-
actually. You talked about it,
Yeah.
I think.
Okay, Puck works as well. Not quite sure if I like it as much though. Like it is very vulnerable to the void and just getting behind and then not really having any damage.
Yeah. I agree.
Guess it
You
does
can
come down
coil
to
someone.
yeah. It does
Then-
kind of come down to the early game pressure as well for Hokori's lineup currently.
It also
Yeah,
means
for
they
sure.
don't have the Roche, right? The OD would bring the Arcane Orb damage that could give them Roche.
No, Hokori, come on, guys. Pick Roche. Pick physical damage. Get a medallion carrier.
But yeah, at least the puck can maybe control the co-op a little bit. I want to say when I was looking up some potential big numbers, alone on co-op is actually holding the record for best KDA, 36 on the Queen of Pain
Oh.
Right, that's
in Division
decent.
1.
I thought you were gonna say Puck has tools to control the Roche, and I was like,
Oh.
that is a lot of commitment, but this does make more sense.
I guess
But
I need to
36
dub my name to
KDA.
T Roche or something at this point, you know.
I'm not sure how I feel about the Puck versus Quop matchup. It wins in lane, but generally in the game, I'm just not that much of a fan of it anymore. Just because Puck doesn't really pressure Quop that well solo. He always needs assistance, and you kind of want to make sure that your mid can actually make plays. And if you want to make plays against the Queen of Pain as a Puck, you need a huge lead or a lot of momentum, and that is quite difficult because Quop farms small camps incredibly well.
Mm-hmm.
10 seconds remaining.
Yeah, I feel like Puck used to be, at least in the pre-TI patch of this season, used to be a really good matchup versus Quap, and also here that scaled a lot. But he got his deserved nerfs, and like it's not like he's a bad hero, but I think OD would be a much better pick for the game and just a better hero overall. I
Mhm.
guess since they did pick Doom, the flex doesn't have that much, doesn't really matter that much. And this Abba, like, do you think this Abba ban is just to make sure? Because I don't know, it felt weird that they banned the Abba, even though I feel like they're still gonna pick a carry on Hokori. It feels weird. I don't feel like there's a 5 that they can pick that will, or a support that they
Right.
can pick on Hokori that would change
If I
things
were
that
Infamous, I would have loved Hokori to pick Abaddon because that's a hero without stuns that
much. Yeah,
like doesn't really do anything after 15 minutes. There isn't even a big disable for him to purge.
totally agree.
Okay.
So is this
Offlane Void?
Offlane Void? Okay.
We've seen it a few times. It's not bad.
Interesting.
It is very greedy though. Like you have a Void Quop Luna Tricoil now.
Lumiere
You have
has
the Ogre
played it
Magi
twice.
to activate it, but still.
Yeah, Lumiere has played twice on Faces Void. Nobody else in the team has.
I am very confused right
Support
now.
Luna?
They go Morphling.
Well, we did discuss the Morphling earlier on a bit. We do get to see it, but is that a support Luna in the end? Because nope, it's a carry Luna. Yep, you're
No.
right about the Void.
Okay.
That looks very interesting. I'm excited to see this though. Like the Void is definitely some innovation.
Yeah, I've seen one support Void in SA. It was terrible. It didn't really do anything. But I think before the nerfs to the talents on Void, I think it was really good, right? You had the HP talent, the strength talent at 10, HP talent at 15. You were this support with no items that had 2500 HP at level 15. I don't think I like it that much. It's like good. There's some other talents, but yeah, I mean, sure, I'm down to some crazy games and a BO3 because I feel like this doesn't scream I want to win this 2-0 really quickly to me. Feels like they're experimenting a bit.
Yeah, I guess both sides are kind of considering their options here. But who do you lean towards? Where do you see the strengths of either team taking this one?
I definitely lean towards Infamous, even with the Void, just judging by prior results and the fact that the draft doesn't completely suck. I would definitely give it to Infamous. I would have preferred to see a different offlaner and just a Void ran as a carry. But overall, it's still fine. A nice thing about the Void is that you have the kill potential with the Snapfire, even if the Void doesn't have farm. So that is very nice, and it's gonna create a lot of space for the Luna in the mid game.
All right, to
leaning
create some
towards
chaos
Infamous.
here, I am actually going with Hokori. I had you have this Void matchup that's like really good versus Morphling, right? You just go Shadow Blade and you
True.
Chrono and he dies, and now you go Luna. I don't think that's really that good. I think that Void support is gonna be trash. Let's go.
Well, the
All right.
panel is tied, but I wonder what our casters are going to think about because we have a duo who are not only just handsome, not only just knowledgeable, they are the connoisseurs of humor. It's Gareth and Lacoste.
Thank you, boys. And yet again, Bowie going for the underdogs, going for Hokori. Looking at these drafts, 8 picks in, I was heavily leaning towards Infamous. Hokori had some damage issues. Now, Infamous swapped the Void to 3, and I'm pretty sure Lumiere has screamed at his team saying, I don't want to get doomed and puck-coiled and disrupted, so please give me Luna, who cares about none of that. Lacoste, what do you reckon?
Looking at the drafts, like Hokori, they have better draft in my opinion. Like it's a free puck
Ooh.
game. They have no real lockdown for puck. The only thing they have is Chronosphere. Also, you have Shadow Demon, probably the best support on top of like OD from the mid or off lane who can save you inside the chrono. And it's a free Morphling game. They have no lockdown. They have no one that builds into silence. I want to see what item build for Queen of Pain in this one's going to be, because I've
Is it
seen
Orchid?
more Queen of Pain just staying away from Orchid, and then it also means like Morphling. You can't kill this Morphling. Like that's going to be a huge issue. And also on top of that, you have Shadow Demon against Luna, which is historically one of the best Luna counters. Use Ulti Honor, use Disruption, and just kill her with her own illusions.
Yeah, and then you've got the worry of the circles, like Wukong's inside of the puck coil. It's going to be something pretty nasty to deal with. Like El Misho Monkey's going to be roaming around and looking for pickoffs. The big worry I had was you're looking at Ogre Snapfire, 2 strength supports, which are kind of hard to kill. But I guess the idea of Hokori's lineup is to focus cores anyway, right? With Doom and Puck and Morphling just aiming for the Luna Quap most of the time.
Yeah, they can rename themselves to Hokors, considering the amount of like counter picking that they've done so far. They also have Doom, like they have good chase potential with Puck, with the Monkey King. That's one thing that you need to have whenever you have Doom in the
Oh,
team, because
true.
if they just run away or if they like use a Fisher and then like, well, whatever, like we can't chase, Doom wasted. Uh, Puck ruins both Queen of Pain and Faceless Void. I also want to see what Faceless Void on the offlane is going to do. I remember seeing it a couple of times on the offlane. I believe OG played it one game. Amar did, and the item build was like Hood, and he tried to go for Refresher as his like third item. Don't remember the second one, but you're pretty much want to be annoying. You want to take out a couple of spells, be able to survive, and then reset, go in, and deal damage with time dilation. Like it's gonna be a good setup, of course, for like Eclipse or Mortimer's Kisses. So you need to care for that. But your job, primarily one, is gonna be tanking up and being annoying in the front lines, trying to get multiple time dilations and time walks off in a team fight.
Yeah, like time dilate the Puck in particular, maybe tank a Doom, soak up all the damage and all the spells, as it looks like we are ready to get underway. A bit of a pause to kick things off, but it leads into a 5-man smoke on both sides, already running across the map towards each other. It looks like Hokori a little more split. We've got Mr. Jeans orbing in towards mid to get an earlier Observer Ward down, while Infamous all grouped up around that top rune spot, and they don't see the vision get planted. In fact, pinging right on top of Gardick's Shadow Demon. They don't see anybody, though. Just passing by each other. Both smokes lead to safety for both teams.
This is our high ground now. Alone.
They're still moving forward. It's like, is he here?
Done. Do they have an observer
Cut
board?
the
They
tree?
do. Like Snapfire can place observer board behind the tower.
You know what? They've been watching Jenkins' videos. He's got the orb off, though. Mr. Jeans is behind his tier 2 already.
Not sure what the plan there was. Like, they can get a kill, but Puck is a very difficult one to get, and he's gonna get that illusory orb. But it's not a bad thing that they forced this illusory orb on Puck, because Queen of Pain can go for Shadow Strike immediately, level 1. Something
true.
that Puck was always good at. Like, you can leave a point, get that phase shift, and dodge the Shadow Strike, take away a lot of Queen of Pain's harassment early on.
So what they were doing, they cut a specific tree, and there's a path you can take between the tier 1, tier 2 that doesn't mean you get spotted. Like, if you don't cut that tree, right, you have to go, like, around the tower, and you get spotted by the tier 2. So they were trying to come, I guess, up to the dire triangle, maybe find someone over there, and Puck was just in the way, unfortunately, for Infamous. Nothing really lost, though, for the Radiant side. We'll get that Queen of Pain against Puck matchup, which I'm super interested to watch. And of course, down bottom, Doom Monkey King. up against the Ogre Luna. Now, what are your thoughts on Puck Queen of Pain? Because like the panel was saying, historically it's always been like heavily Puck favored, and you just mentioned the Orb level 1. There's no dagger. It's actually Scream level 1 from alone. Which way does this swing usually?
I think Queen of Pain does much better recently with all the changes, with the buff to Scream of Pain. So she manages to farm up, and I don't think like Queen of Pain dies pre-level 6. He's getting very close to bottle. Pretty much the same item build on both of them. They both started with 4 branches. They plant 1, use the tango, get more region out of it.
That does mean Mr. Jeans takes a dagger though. Looking down bottom, Lumiere's Luna, his signature hero, I'd say, from Season 2 of the DPC for sure. We saw some fantastic performances out of Lumiere, farming up very heavily until about 20 minutes, then he just comes out and wins the game on his own. Monkey and Doom double melee against pretty much a double melee lane, right? Luna's not particularly well ranged, but he can't really go on this Ogre and commit to him. He's putting himself in front of the Luna, tanking up all the damage, making sure Lumiere has a happy time. But that wave is moving towards the dire side. This is going to be plenty of experience for Vitaly. And Monkey King there is moving across as not to leech any of it from him.
Luna playing
That's when you know it's a good position for him.
Just out pushing the waves, getting level 2 faster. Then once they get level 2, you can't really match up the aggression and the damage like output that they got, because there is kill threat. Monkey King, he can't just jump in and try to play aggressive, even though he's playing, as you said, into 2 heroes that are kind of melee, but still too much damage, too much control from just both Ogre and Luna.
Yeah, it's pretty nasty. And that final lane up top, we've got Michael Snapfire with Sacred Faceless Void, so that 3 Void looks like he's going to go for Meteor Hammer. That's what he's queued up for the moment anyway. And that Morphling Shadow Demon currently putting Morphling in a very good spot, 11 CS out of the first 3 minutes of the laning phase. Keeping them zoned back as well. And usually we see Snapfire paired with some kind of stunner here. But Faceless Void, probably not the best partner, and he's not got any points in Bash either. So curious to see what Michael can actually do.
Yeah, I don't know about this item build. Meteor Hammer, pretty much memes. Not like, I don't see synergy between any of their spells. You can use like Chrono into Meteor Hammer. That's it. Like,
Then just stand still.
It's not good. I've seen like even ISSI's doing Meteor Hammer on Pangolier with roll style points, 10 out of 10. Real value, 2 out of 10.
It's not brilliant. Well, we saw the strength of the Monkey King you were mentioning. Lumiere gets pummeled a bit, forced to salve up, while Doom gets to eat some creeps. And make sure that that pull across is successful and completed by the camp.
Monkey in a
Well,
lot
go
of
on
trouble.
the Monkey.
He might be dead.
Yeah, El
He's dead,
Misho,
yeah.
my god, that damage. Level 2 in the Lunar Blessing. The range creeps go in for him. Ooh, a Lucent Beam is coming off cooldown in a second. El Misho on the treetops and salving up as they turn on the Doom instead. Lumiere, he wants this Monkey King real bad, but Lumiere's the one to die first. Vitaly gets the first blood. El Misho's traded out for it. Now the Ogre's in trouble, though. Vitaly, with his Infernal Blade and the Mana Burn he's picked up from the creep, can't finish the job, though. Axel under the tower, tanky Ogre and healing up.
They kind of misused the beam there. She used it immediately and didn't have it like later when they needed to reset the damage, because Ignite kind of wore off and Monkey was able to jump on the trees. There is Quelling Blade on Luna, something that Lunas buy these days to be able to have more farm potential, and especially good against Monkey King, but there was no tree cut attempt.
Now, mid lane, I'm looking at the CS board, and I feel like my eyes are deceiving me, but 25 and 6 against 12 for 2 is something that we don't expect, right? Queen of Pain is demolishing this Puck in lane.
Yeah, it shouldn't happen. It's just bad play from Puck. Like, Queen of Pain, as I said, does so much better. Before, Puck was pretty much, it was one-sided matchup, but with all the changes to water runes with the bottles, whatever, like Scream of Pain got buffed, as I mentioned, and
Yeah.
it shouldn't be this one-sided. I'm gonna say it's like maybe 50-55 to Queen of Pain. It really depends like how you play. If you get hit by a Shadow Strike or two, then it kind of changes the matchup. And now we're gonna see rotations for the water runes as well. So if Puck doesn't get any of those, it's minute 4:50. Never mind. I have my camera on where the timer is. I thought we were like 3 minutes and 40 seconds in. Yeah, he's definitely gonna need some help on the mid lane because there is kill threat coming out from Queen of Pain. She has a decent amount of mana. Like she can start using Scream of Pain, one bottle, and also she's gonna hit level 6 faster, which means that Sonic Wave is there. So if Puck misuses Phase Shift, there is kill threat.
Yeah, and then Queen of Pain can clear small camp and stuff like that as well.
Ideally for Infamous would be if Lumiere gets like the first blood, they get the kill bottom, and they trade Ogre for it, and Ogre TPs to the mid lane, refills Queen of Pain's bottle. Like that's the trade you're looking for.
That would be superb. Man,
Ogre too tanky, doesn't die. That's the problem with the hero.
Yeah, that really is the issue. Just doesn't die. Another issue here, you mentioned there's no real lockdown for the Puck or the Morphling, and I feel like it kind of goes the other way as well. Pre-level 6 on Puck, without a coil, killing Queen of Pain is almost an impossibility. Like, Shadow Demon comes in, disrupts her, and then she blinks away. Monkey King Boundless Strike, what is that? Stun duration 1 second? She blinks away. You're going to need a Doom or a coil to be able to kill off this Queen of Pain, and if she's ahead and snowballing,
Queen
looks
of Pain,
even scarier for the Hokori boys.
Early levels, you don't have multiple points in Blink Strike, which means you blink. If it's a bad blink, you get caught, you die. So you need to be careful about it. And we see like Ogre going back to base, not being ready to TP. Also, Queen of Pain trying to blink away. Let's see if he decides to TP to the mid lane. I don't know if that's a good thing, leaving Luna there alone, because there is kill potential from Monkey King and Doom. So, yeah, Queen of Pain going back. I think it's a much safer choice considering how the lanes went.
Yeah, I think you were right. There seemed to be some kind of discussion there because the Queen of Pain blinked back,
she
then
blinked
went back to
back
tower,
and then
moved
went back
away
to the mid lane. Yeah, they were definitely talking about it. Nice catch,
think it's
Gary.
spot on
That's
with
why I
that.
have you here. Oh, tree cut bottom.
Yeah, they catch the monkey. Vitali is thinking about it. Do I go on Luna? Do I go on Ogre? Can't go on either of them. El Misho just being slammed by this big old Ogre. Lumiere picks up the kill, and Vitali's stuck around. He thinks he can do more damage back to them and maybe pick up a kill on the Ogre, but just about slices past the
Doom's
tree.
tanky. You gotta be careful. This is level 5. Doom almost level 6. 1 mana burn could change this matchup. I'm really glad that Lumiere decided to just back off.
Yeah, good choice. I mean, with no regen, no stick or anything like that on the Luna, she will start to suffer. Trying to defensively aggro the creep back. Just pull that 1 melee creep away.
Looking at the item build that Faceless Void has queued up on the top lane, I like that more. The one that I mentioned, Power Tread's now going for Hood. At least that's what he has queued up.
Well, they're catching mid. Oh! Alone just blinks away. That's all you need. Michael's nearby as well, but yeah, that's coil spent. The monkey rotated in. Shadow Demon's here. 3 heroes, and they don't even get a kill.
Also, weird items by Queen of Pain. She decided to go for Gloves of Haste as her like primary item, trying to buy Power Treads. If Queen of Pains go for Kai Assange, that means that they're getting like double null. They will get raindrop in this matchup against Puck to be able to survive, have more mana regen, have more spell damage, which feels good to have on Queen of Pain. So I assume this might be Orchid game, considering what he has in Quick Buy, if he's completely skipping on those nullies.
And what's the reason then we go for Gloves of Haste over like a Mantle
I
of
don't know.
Intelligence?
It's just a bad item.
So
like,
Robo
you
Magi.
either get Belt, if like you're not gonna get the kill because of Gloves of Haste. It increases your farm, of course, but if you want to get more damage, more mana, buy Robe of Magi or just get Belt of Giant Strength to be able to survive.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. Well, Tread's not too far away, and now they know there are 3 dire heroes in that mid lane. Gives a bit more room for Void to get a leg up and get towards level 6. He's not trading particularly well with the Morphling, but he does have Time Walk at the very least. Has a Morbid Mask now on Yuma. So he's regenerating back off every hit. El Misho, oh, he's been found by the Snapfire. The stacked large camp blocks Michael in, though, and now the tables have turned on the Snap. Who's in trouble, me or you? Gardic gets the kill, and well, a well-deserved tip there. Michael gets baited into the jungle by the Monkey King himself. A tricksy fella.
6 versus 5. Like, the neutral creep's doing
Did
a
you
lot of
count?
work for Hokori.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It was 7 versus 1 on that poor Snapfire. TP straight back up to top and sounds the void. So settling back into their lanes, as it looks like Gardic is also going to plant himself back up top. Not really too worried about this void snap lane. He just bubbles one and walks it away. Yeah, Tango through the trees. It feels like we're waiting for something in this game. What is that moment going to be? Like, is it Hokori TPing the puck to a lane and Queen of Pain reacting, or is there something bigger?
Doom wants to get a kill. It's not safe for Luna to just sit in the lane. Let's see if Luna decides to go jungle. This is a new build on Luna, going for more points in Lunar Blessing compared to, like, before maxing out the Moonglaves. He needs one hero. Doom needs to play with one hero. Like, Puck can be the one if he lands a coil on 2. That's definitely 2 kills. Like, even if Queen of Pain rotates and they get the first jump from Hokori, I don't think they get a return kill. Okay, so it is what I thought about. Queen of Pain is going for Orchid because, as I said, like, they have no silences against Morphling and Puck,
Yeah.
so that could be an issue. They have, like, no real lockdown. I'm fine with that. I've been also thinking if, like, there could be a different
Ooh.
itemization. Faceless Void looks pretty dead.
Yeah, I'm not even sure they needed the coil, but Mr. Jeans is there to secure it nonetheless. They had a nice little shift there from Yuma, actually getting time dilation onto the void, so everything was still on cooldown for a long-ass time. When he died, his time walk was still like 20-second cooldown
Yeah.
or something.
Because if you see time dilation on it, you can check which level it is by like pinging, checking the damage. So that means if you know that it's level 3 and he used the time walk, which is 24-second cooldown, level 1, you might not need to even spend the coil. There's a lot of tricks in Dota. But to go back to itemization, like, Queen of Pain could have got Kaya Sanj, and Void could get, like, Hood into Orchid. Sounds stupid, but in this game, I think it could work. Like, you didn't necessarily need to go for Queen of Pain Orchid if you wanted to go for item build that seems more popular because it's better.
Yeah, so then the decision being made is just how fast can we get it, isn't it? Like, Void is going to be a bit slower. We want to play more actively against this Puck and the Morphling, so I guess that's the reason Queen of Pain is the one heading into that item. Ooh, a jump in the jungle. Lumiere's Luna under a dire observer ward, getting doomed up, and it looks like lights out for Lumiere. Alone TPing in, though.
Deny.
Maybe deny coming from Michael, but Vitali. He sticks around to make damn sure the Luna dies, and with Gardic and Guts arriving, Mr. Jeans is here, helped out by the bubble, finding potentially a bonus kill on the Queen of Pain. No, the Blinker, alone, as a coil back onto Snapfire. Vitali being turned around by the 2 supports, but it's a bloodbath in the jungle. The forest turned red. Hokori come in with 4 huge kills, and Sacred might be the 5th one. Yes, they kill Vitali. Okay, Chronosphere to lock down Gardic. A 4 for 2 as things come to a close. But Hokori there really stamping their mark on this, and Mr. Jeans getting involved.
Their team fight is too powerful at the moment, especially because Faceless Void was a bit late to the team fight. Even if he was on time, still, there was no Snapfire level 6. She just bought a book for herself. Level 5 Snapfire compared to level 6 Snapfire. It's a huge difference. Guts, they have no reveal. Sentry, out of reach.
Down to 50 HP in that time dilation. But he is now back under his tower, bottle refilled, and super happy about life. Yuma top, getting some glaives bounced upon him. Morphling trying to solo defend this tower. Not successful alone. They don't have Glyph on the
There's
dire
smoke
either, but they
coming.
are bringing 2 heroes smoked up here. Tower has fallen, but they are spam pinging on Lumiere. They want this Luna real bad. Gardic and Mr. Jeans leading out into the jungle. They don't have vision on her, though. They've got a good idea where she is, and, well, they
Oh,
just
he got the ulti off.
get the Ogre instead. The Demonic Purge, you're right, with a disruption, but Sacred Yes, Cookie back onto that Shadow Demon. Gareth just a step too far forward. The puck had already changed target and went for the Ogre instead.
Great play from Lumiere. Understands that he needs to go back immediately. They just placed an observer ward near the tier 1 tower on top, which will scout out any kind of like rotation there. But it was not there on time. Like Luna with Bloodlust and Mask of Madness, a bit too speedy. What Infamous needs to do is protect their triangle. I see 1-2 sentry wards, so far they're doing a good job because this is where Luna should be farming, and they should be ready with the rotations. Ogre Bloodlust, move around the triangle, try to break some smokes, and that's your job pretty much. Once the chrono is up, play with Snapfire, get a kill, get a big pick off potentially on a hero like Morphling if you can surprise him with the chrono, or try to get puck.
And then Hokori's game plan just to keep scaling, just keep on farming. Doom, 6,000 net worth. He's got his Hand of Midas, so his farm acceleration only going to increase. Morphling, of course, went bottom, got the tier 1 tower, and now can fall back into his own triangle, while Shadow Demon just sits mid, plants himself in front of the tower, spams out some poisons, tries to bait people in as a coil. Puck actually being caught out by the Faceless Void, who has Chrono off cooldown in 1 second. The multicast, Fire Blast in onto Mr. Jeans, while the time dilation made it easy work in the end. No escapability from that puck.
That max time
cooldowns
dilation
increased.
build from offlane Faceless Void makes a lot of difference. You pop it, Chrono, okay.
Oh, and the kisses onto that Shadow Demon. I guess they're getting prepared for their game plan, right? If you think about how they want to cast Chrono later on in the game, 20 minutes in, you want to catch the Shadow Demon so he doesn't disrupt you or your target.
You want
Signal of intent from the Void.
Oh,
Cookied back.
Hokori. A lot of mistakes
Slipping.
there. Like, they have much stronger team fight if they can tank. I guess Faceless Void just wanted to ruin Shadow Demon. If he casts Chronosphere on anyone else, there's going to be a disruption save if he's nearby,
Yeah.
of course. But time dilation, we saw the potential coming out from Faceless Void on heroes like Puck. Instant slow, you can't use your abilities, which means you're not elusive at all.
El Misha gets a taste of his own medicine. So Monkey King has been sitting mid, like to the left or to the right of this mid tier 1 tower, and he's been sniping couriers left and right, and then he loses his own one as he jumps in onto that Snapfire. Revenge. Well, you weren't wrong about this Luna. She has sat in the triangle, not too far behind the Doom. In fact, she's going to catch up and probably overtake the Doom with this Ancient and Large camp being cleared out.
Something
So
that is very
Lumiere-
hard to do. Being able to outfarm Doom means you're doing pretty well. And Doom was set up for a success in his lane, currently sitting at the 3-1-3. They managed to kill him only once. Dooms were not as successful, especially the last one, but so far so good. I think Hokori's lineup is going to do very good in mid / late game if it comes down to that. They have great scaling 3 cores and also Shadow Demon against Luna. I love this build on Gardic, being able to just use disruption, lower the cooldown on it, and illusion damage is up to 75%. So he's already good to go. He said he wants to play anti-Luna type of a build.
Yeah, so they basically have 4 cores. I think that Michael having his smoke popped here by the Shadow Demon feels pretty bad. Puck is also going to be able to get itself away from the rest of Infamous. Man, when we think about mid to late game, right, we've got BKB Shiva's Refresher Orb on Doom. That's going to be huge. Morphling we haven't really seen for the past, 5-6 minutes or so. Just been sat bottom doing a very similar thing to Luna. Farming away up into Manta style, which is nearly completed. So that Manta versus Orchid timing here is going to be spot on for the Morph. Like,
One of
Queen
the
Pain
reasons
has it, but
why he's playing off the map, he saw Queen of Pain showing her Orchid. So, like, he also show which item build you're going to go for. You're not going to completely reveal Orchid. It's not like you're buying a blank. So you see components, you see Oblivion Staff, and then you can say, well, I'm getting that Manta style. I'm playing also against Ignite. I'm playing against Faceless Void, which means offlane one, which means the time dilation is going to be maxed out. So gotta prepare for that.
yeah, very well timed preparation. Sacred working on his halberd after the hood, so incredibly tanky. Oh, Monkey King. Primal Springs into the creep wave, but look who was waiting for him. Michael and Lumiere there. find the sneaky Monkey King. Take control of that top lane, and more importantly, as Radiant, invading this top outpost area means control of the Roche Pit. If they can take the tier 2 and take the actual outpost itself, that would be huge for them.
They have catapult still? No, they don't. I'm a liar. But that's a lot of
Just
damage.
kidding.
I don't see Hokori rotating. Bottom lane, they still have a tier 1 tower on the mid, which is full HP. Puck doesn't kill tower that easily. There is a rotation from Monkey, but he's alone.
Oh, do they know where he is? He's jumping across the trees. They've glyphed up this tier 2. And Sacred just goes straight back to work as they bring in even more heroes. They found the Monkey King, and the kisses come on in. Down goes El Micho. The Boundless Strike landing onto Lumiere, though, and the Morphling finding the snipe on the bigger kill as the Doombringer hunts for that Snapfire in the back lines. Defense mounted of this tier 2 tower, and Yuma into Luna mode. Gets the mini-stun onto Axel's Ogre. Tower with 4 health remaining. Defended.
Yeah, you should deny that tower. Someone's gonna come in and kill it instantly. But they didn't even kill the mid tower. Still good trade from Hokori. I gotta give credit to Sacred because he was able to jump in with the time walk, find where Monkey King is standing, use the Quelling Blade, cut down the tree. They get the kill. But Luna, she still doesn't feel. She's never gonna feel safe if there's Shadow Demon. Kind of ruins both Faceless Void's Chronosphere, their team fight, and also ruins Luna. So this is the hero that they need to jump.
Catch the Shadow Demon at all costs. There's no reason to leave that top tier 2 undenied, right? That's a mistake by Hokori.
Yeah, as I said, like, you get no value from it. You don't have glyphs, so you can't protect it. It's just free gold. And if you deny it, you get some gold from it. Knowing there's no Doom, they will go inside the pit with Lunas and Bloodlust. They have enough damage. Faceless Void can't time walk it off. They know something's cooking. Radiant using a scan.
Yeah, they know there's people up on that high ground. Shadow Demon just putting poisons in towards the pin, but Roche is already dead. So Lumiere with a DD rune still going for a good 10 seconds or so, and the Aegis in hand. Looks like they might run in towards that mid-tier 2 tower as they take the outpost in the northern jungle. And a massive parcel of land for themselves. Hokori, they're signaling potentially they want to play down bottom lane, keep pressuring into the opposing tier 2 tower. But Morphling doesn't really want to be showing on the map. Dips back into the forest. Doom, the only one really showing himself anywhere in that mid lane, but being incredibly defensive with the way he drags the wave back into the trees. Oh, that sentry mid. No way. Ogre places a sentry mid, finds the sentry that was placed by the Tire team, but the Observer Ward is just out of range of it.
Oh.
Very sad times for Axel.
So Doom now has a Blink and a BKB, plus a Centaur War Stomp. Doesn't have enough mana. If he pops a Soul Ring, we'll have some extra. But let's see if he's bringing a Clarity. He's not, does not give a damn about his mana pool. But there's going to be another way of initiating, being able to lock them down. It's always going to feel nice. Monkey.
Oh, that lane, Michael down, that lane ward top. They saw the puck, and they know Monkey King's nearby as well. Faceless Void. Can't catch up to Mr. Jeans, though. Puck has already orbed and jaunted away, while the Monkey King, he primal springs himself into the wave and then back again. And it doesn't look like, Alone can't keep track of him. So a lot of this timer on the Aegis wasted. 2 minutes down, nothing really gained by Infamous. They're just kind of clearing waves, maintaining the map. So it's been well done by Hokori, playing bottom, playing defensively.
They understand
little openings.
There's no need to go and like fight into this Luna with the Aegis for another 3 minutes. If they can get a good pick-off, that'd be great. Or if Luna overextends, they use Shadow Demon ulti plus Disruption and kill Luna. Then they will still take a fight. Because right now, the only damage that Doom needs to care about, pretty much with the BKB on, is like Chronos. If he gets caught by a Chrono before he can pop a BKB and Sonic Wave, but he's still tanky enough like to survive this just a Sonic Wave.
Yeah. Absolutely is. Void and Luna onto that tier 2 mid. And again, like you say, Hokori just dodging, dipping, avoiding away from Infamous. Morphling and Doom still up there in the top 3 of the net worth. Top 2 now, actually. Luna slips behind just a touch. I've got to feel like such a prominent position for Yuma to be in with Skadi nearly completed. Vitaly in an interesting spot, though. Doom cutting waves down bot, blinking himself into the trees.
Oh, he found him.
Chronoed. Sacred's found him. They knew something was going to happen here. The halberd disarms there as well. Vitaly, he's going to get chased back into the fountain, basically alone. Also tracking back with a blink in the Orchid. Pick off the Doom, and he's dead for 50 seconds.
Sacred has been on point with his like time walks, being able to find Monkey King. His itemization is on point. I want to see if he decides to get a Blink Dagger just for a better setup for Chrono as third item, or if he wants to get something a bit different. Like I've seen shards on offlane Faceless Void to be able to be even more annoying.
Oh, nice Yules. Mr. Jeans Yules away from the Orchid. Silence jaunts away as the Wukong's command is going to claim Michael's life. Axel's there as the Ogre tanks up a bit more. Mr. Jeans dying to the dagger, trying to, again, get away and destroy anything he can, but alone with a great blink forward. Finds the puck, while Yuma takes down Sacred on the other side of the map.
Yeah, there was a ward that scouted puck out and allowed Queen of Pain to aggressively blink in and get the kill. I don't think we've seen Eclipse so far, Gary.
I don't think so. Been a very quiet game for Luna so far. 2, 3, and 3 on Lumiere. Second in net worth. Aegis is about to expire, and again, we have to point that out. They got this Aegis and did almost nothing with it. They got a tier 2 mid lane, and that's about it objective-wise. Dire took their outpost back in that top jungle. Hokori looking much better here in game 1 of this series than they have in their previous 3 series combined.
Yeah, you're just being mean, Gary. They had some they had some moments of brilliance, I'd say, but as a team, like the shot calling and everything, it has not been perfect. I think this is also the best draft that they got so far.
Yeah.
In terms of like what they're playing against. So I mean, I'm gonna say that Hokori's draft looks much better than Infamous's.
Just all round as a game, the shot calling, the draft, everything. You know, the only one small downside would be Puck's laning phase, but I think we can forget about that. The way the rest of the game has gone, it's been a smooth game 1 here from Hokori.
All co-op top.
Yeah,
TP out.
TP out from El Micho, and he's back to Fountain. Ogre was too far away to really help out. And this opens up that bottom tier 2 now. Glyphed up. Doom still hiding in the trees, and they're going to disrupt the Morphling. So 4 illusions. They do wander forward.
A lot of
With
damage.
2 minutes left on... 2 minutes left on potential Roche spawn. It's like, Infamous, what do? We smoke. We go, we look for fights, we try and find a team fight that we can push to our advantage. They see the Monkey King. Oh, good jump away. Nice attempted cookie from Michael. Oh, it's a good scan as well. The Radiant, they've clipped someone. Goddic Shadow Demon in the trees.
They still know
Hello
something's
there.
up. Oh.
Any stuns? Ogre? Oh, just TP home.
Apparently, this is what counters Infamous lineup. 100 gold TP scroll.
That's all you need.
Next big fight is going to happen around the Roche pit, which can be up in a minute. So both teams will be ready for that. What you want to have is like potentially have buyback on either your position 4 and 5 and TP ready, so you can TP to outpost and just try to bait like one of the big spells, try to bait a BKB potentially, and then come back into a fight with the buyback, because second Roche too valuable. Sorry, not cheese, shard plus Aegis. Man, I can't believe we had
Rip
shard,
cheese.
cheese and Aegis.
On the second Roche.
Yeah, it was too much.
Yeah, it was pretty much both seasons of DPC plus the majors last year was like whoever gets second Roche is like 90% chance to win the game. Very, very difficult to combat it. The speed at which Hokori are playing at here, though, mirroring the movements of Infamous, has been really good. And I think a lot of this comes down to Monkey King. El Micho's positioning, acting as a mobile ward, has been able to scout out the movements, for the most part, of Infamous's squad. And that's allowed Yuma to have a free game completely so far. The puck has been given a bit of room as well. Oh, that's a fast Roche respawn, Lacoste. 15 seconds to go.
It's much easier for like Radiant. I'll hold that thought. Let's see what happens. Some illusions. Yeah, it's much easier for like Radiant to be able to threaten the Roshan kill because they're already playing top part of the map. And then Dire needs to be like very careful. But one thing that Dire can do is what Puck is doing right now: push out the bottom wave, and then deal some damage to towers. But they don't know about it. Like they're not prepared. Scan. Roche already dead.
I don't know if they expected it to be so fast. I think they knew Roche was happening, but it's incredibly quick with this Lunar Blessing, the Bloodlust, the Solar Crest, all adding up. Well, let's see what Infamous can do with this second Roshan, because last time, yeah, we saw things like this happen. Heroes getting individually picked off. It's a tankly Faceless Void, though. He's being slapped by the Infernal Blade. The Chrono comes out. He's going to catch one. The BKB Doom and a Sonic Wave pushes El Micho back into it as well as the kisses land onto the BKB Shiny Gold and Vitali Doom. Turn around and War stomps back onto the Sacred Void. Alone, running low on mana, has a blink ready. Yuma slowing with that Skadi. A good couple of kills there as Hokori fight into the Aegis team and come out victorious.
Faceless Void, like, decided to go in. Doom pops a BKB. So I think the play needed to be, like, try to reset with the Time Walk. You have a Blink Dagger, so you can still go for a big Chrono. I guess he's the only one who kind of wants to go in first and make some mess in the front lines, try to pop a BKB or two. Not ideal Chronosphere. Like, you want to catch someone who doesn't have BKB so you can follow up with the kisses. Still no Eclipse. Like, Luna extremely farm, but so is Morphling. Like, Morphling, he's no joke in this game. Like, he has really BKB, Manta, and Skadi. And I like the build. Like, this is probably going to be... Oh my god. This is probably going to be Daedalus plus Satanic type of a build where he wants to be able to match up, stand his ground, and just not care. It's also another way of dispelling things. BKB.
Ooh. Yeah, Vitali. BKBs to try and dodge away from the Luna. Doom, can he slip away from this? Nah, the Faceless Void comes in as backup with a Snapfire and Ogre. It does mean the Morphling's able to TP back to Fountain safely. But again, it's just distraction plays. It's smoke and mirrors here. Hokori, they win a team fight mid. They move bottom. They lose the Doom, but they're wasting time on this Aegis. And every time Infamous want to group up and do something with it, they're a hero down. Whether it's the Void dead, or the Queen of Pain dead, or no Chrono being available, Hokori are pushing all the right buttons.
Yeah, they're clicking those buttons correctly, I'd say. Not the ideal, like not the perfect execution, but definitely the best showing so far in the DPC from this team. Also, one thing that we didn't mention is Morphling being able to turn into any of these elusive heroes. You turn into Faceless Void, be more annoying, have Queen of Pain so you can like even follow up with that, close the gap. They already have limited amount of lockdown, and once you turn into either Faceless Void or Queen of Pain, it gets even more difficult.
Yeah, or you turn into Ogre and Bloodlust yourself, right? You've got so many good options.
That also works. Now he finds Paladin Sword on top of Morbid Mask. They have one issue with Infamous lineup is you don't have a hero that builds into Spirit Vessel. Faceless Void.
Yeah, get some good bashes on the Shadow Demon. Gardic TP'd up here to make some illusions of Luna. Wanted to defend that tower, but it wasn't to be. Little Shredder goes to work, minus armor plus the heavy hits from Lumiere. And 1 minute 30 left on Aegis with 5 heroes alive and smoked up behind the Luna. It looks like Infamous really want to try
Infamous
and
wants the high ground. Yeah, they want. You need to be careful about this. If you let your tier 3 tower fall, the bouncy from Luna causes too much problems between the barracks.
Yeah, so they make a move straight onto her. Lumiere, maybe saved by the Chrono. Well, they catch 2 inside it. The kisses are good. Morphling's down. Buys back immediately. They want to continue this fight. Inside the Wukong's command with a Dream Coil on top. El Micho's on the run, and Lumiere's been doomed. Back to focusing the Luna. As Hokori know, they only have one true target, and that is the Luna. The big kill goes their way. Aegis down, tier 3 still alive, and any more collateral kills are just the cherry on top, as their base defense is held. And Yuma gets a triple kill after his buyback.
Buyback expended, that's a big one. Like, they managed to get 2 cores with the Chronosphere. Sacred, once again, being very patient with that Blink Dagger pickup, was able to set things up properly. And we see the power of just Snapfire plus Faceless Void combination. It's super strong, but they also bought back on Doom, so they need to be very careful, like, what happens next. Luna has buyback, so does Snapfire, so does Ogre. I don't think any of them want to buyback. They might need to use on one of the supports, unless they have a Glyph. Let me just check. Glyph, Radiant Beam, ready. Okay, so all
ready.
good. Yeah, they don't have to use any buybacks.
It's just a waiting game for that Void. A minute for that Chrono to come back up. They do pop the Glyph. Illusions of Morphling being created, though, and they're committing for this tier 3 tower. They crack the base open. That's all they wanted. No reason to stick around. Luna's alive in a couple of seconds. Come in, claim the prize, back up, and wait for those buybacks to come off cooldown.
We still have not seen Eclipse. I saw Aghanim Scepter on Luna queued up at one point. I'm like, this is the old school, one of the like oldest Dota 1 memes. Buys Aghanim Scepter, doesn't get ulti, like doesn't skill ulti. Like, we had simple times, simple memes, because Aghanim Scepter was also always tied to your ultimate. It didn't do anything else. It didn't do any of the new skills. But yeah, she's just not in position. Like, I want to see some more. Sorry, Gary. I want to see some more Lincoln Spheres, possibly a Lotus Orb on side of Infamous to be able to deal. Like, Queen of Pain has one, so that's great. I see Faceless Void building one. I also like that. Up.
Oh, she does BKB Sonic Wave, but inside that coil still dies. Hunk with the Aghanim Scepter showing that shiny new item off with great success as the time walk back from Faceless Void just opens himself up to more damage. Morphling with that time dilation stolen, make sure he can't make any more jumps. And Queen of Pain dead for a minute with no buyback. 100 gold off it. Any bounty runes? There's a bounty rune in that Radiant Triangle. It looks like Hokori is going to be coming towards your base. Go get the bounty rune, boys. Get the Queen of Pain back in the game.
75 gold needed. Pause. Ooh, spicy one.
Tactical. What does FPS stand for?
First person shooter.
Ah, that's the one.
I've seen a lot of players discussing that there has been some issues with FPS also in the North America. Like, we had everyone talking about it, and they just like decided to go. It seems like something with the new Aghanim's Labyrinth that has been added. Not optimized, but it is what it is.
Yeah, I think I've seen it a couple of times as well. It's like that kind of freeze, drop frames kind of thing. Just have to pause, hope for the best, let it tire itself out. Well, Michael needs a little more time alone, telling them to wait. Because Hokori, they're ready to go back up onto high ground. Don't forget, mid lane is open. There's no tier 3 there, so they could try and clear out bottom and move into mid.
I see what Infamous is trying to do. They're waiting. They want Queen of Pain and Faceless Void to be alive, but it's not how it works. The timers are also paused. Like, wait 45 seconds, FPS, lag, door, house on fire, any kind of generic excuse. But
my cat's hungry.
Cat's hungry? Never heard that one before.
My brother's downloading something.
Got any more?
No, that's about it.
Plane crash.
I think
plane crashed into my house. Yeah, that's the classic one.
It's always the best when people combine them all up, though. I can't remember where I saw it. It was like some joined Dota League Division 2 game or something. Someone needed a pause. They said, "My cat's on fire delivering pizza at the door with my brother." That's the ultimate, the ultimate pause reason.
And you
Is
guys
it
believe
safe to go
you
high ground
paused,
into?
you paused the game
Oh, yeah.
for him?
Of course. I mean, you can't. If something's that ridiculous, you've got to believe it, right? Just for the hope that
Yeah,
it's real.
you can't make stuff like that up.
It's impossible. Well, they walk up the staircase in towards the potential buyback from the Faceless Void. And it's just going to be another tier 3 for Hokori, though.
It's gonna be a full
No
set
co-op.
of barracks.
Yeah, no buybacks. So into mid we go. Infamous waiting for 2 heroes to respawn. 20 seconds left on their timers. And they desperately need one of them. The Chrono in particular.
When you pause the game so much, players do kind of tilt, and they also lose track of time. So let's say you killed Morphling. If you didn't write it down by having like in your head timer, you're playing the game, it has been like 6 minutes, but if you check his buyback, it's still on cooldown for 4.5 minutes. So that could be a bit
true.
tricky.
Yeah, you get out of the rhythm. You're in the groove of the game. Pauses can make you lose track of what beat you're on. Everybody alive for Infamous, and they have dewarded that observer in their base on the high ground. Smoking out.
Because Morphling does not have a buyback that we just mentioned. He gets Eon Disc as his next item. Wants to be able to survive, gets the initial jump from Faceless Void, so they can't blow him up if he's not quick enough with his fingers. And also decides to say, well, screw it. I'm just gonna assemble my Eon Disc. I don't care about being able to click it. What if something happens? I respect that decision, considering he does not have buyback.
Yeah, safety first.
Buckle up.
1 minute for Roche to respawn. They do get some good vision down here as Infamous around the Roche pit. That's what they are angling towards. But the map control, it's all Hokori. Top lane shoved in. Bot lane, of course, with that Rax falling. Moving towards the Radiant base. And tons of illusions coming out of this dire squad, moving towards the pit. Also scouting out the Ogre. Axel force-staffs himself and gets another one to drift away from the dangerous Morphling as the Wukong's command. A big circle from El Micho around the pit, looking to kill off the Ogre, and it will open it up. Yuma grabs it, and that's a hero down for 50 seconds with 2 lanes being pushed into Radiant base and Roshan respawning in 25 seconds. Everything's going Hokori's way.
Yeah, lane, bottom lane pushing in, top lane pushing in. They can outpush the mid wave. Like, even Doom is getting Eon Disc. I see Shadow Demon has queued up one with the Blink Dagger. That big boy Philly, aka Philosopher's Stone, really helping him out to get some kind of farm. They know, like, they want to take this fight. Ogre using a buyback. Roche will be up right now. Let's see what it is. It's a refresher. I think this favors Hokori's lineup much more. If they can get it. Like, yeah, double Chrono's nice, but double Doom just feels more scary, and being able to have like double Shivas for vision, double BKB, sometimes even double Vorse Stomps sounds great.
Yeah, Sacred there, very, very eager to
Look at
blink
this
in the
bait.
pit and time
Shadow
walk out.
Demon, Ilu, wasting time, using Solar Crest.
And Roshan is about to die. The Daedalus Morphling, he's claiming it. They've got a coil on the Void, and the Kisses, they're coming in too little too late. The Doom onto Sacred, so no Chrono
She's on the
coming.
ground.
Lumia stands his ground, but the Wukong's command is there again. Sacred down, buys back immediately. Eon Disc on the puck is popped, but El Micho and Yuma just hold this high ground and know that they can stand here for eternity. As Infamous, they get on top of the Doom now, knowing Vitaly doesn't have his BKB or his ulti. Slow him with that Scardy slow of the Lunar, and they get something from it.
That's fine.
Lanes still in disarray, but you've got Aegis, Cheese, you're happy on Hokori.
Great fight. I love what Monkey King El Micho decided to do. Jumps in aggressively because he has buyback, and I talked about how important it is whenever you're going for Roshan. And also, like, there's an outpost so that he can TP to. Just goes in and creates chaos, uses Boundless Strike, stops them from getting close to Morphling, who picks up Aegis, and his buyback timer is on cooldown for another 55. So he will have it. He also has a refresher.
There's no Doom for quite a while. Infamous making the most of this, but a glyph is there from Hokori. Yeah, it's too scary. You've got to come back and prune that top lane, clear out the creeps. Tier 4 items dropping out now, so Spell Prism, Ascetics Cap. Pretty handy ones to have. Monkey King Elmisho, such a nuisance. But it is an ogre at the end of the day. 2,500 HP with a 4 staff. Pretty difficult to get a grasp on him.
Let's see if they decide to give a refresher to Doom. Where's his courier? Let me try to find it. Or do they give it to Puck? Puck does not have it. Doom has it. Yeah, okay, so double Doom, double BKB. Once he uses Hand of Midas plus Devour, gonna get much closer to his Eon Disc. If he sells Soul Ring, which he should, like you can have Eon Disc pretty much with the usage of Devour and Midas.
Yeah, super close. Super close to it. Oh, that bottom lane is just such a pain in the backside. But I don't think they expect this. The Faceless Void straight in, but silenced up. Demonic Purge, he's about to die. He's dead, he's gone. Gardic sure does trade his life for the Faceless Void, but they're going to get the Ogre as well. The Eclipse on Yuma. Aegis down. Has the Eon Disc in his backpack and swaps it in now, but Mr. Jeans, he's on Alone's Queen of Pain. BKB comes out just in the nick of time to blink away, but the chase is still on the backlines as well. Snapfire is being hounded by Vitali's Doombringer. Alone will TP back home safely. Snapfire, another little drift across with a 4 staff, a cookie on cooldown. That means it's end of days for Snapfire. Trapped between illusions, dead with buyback, but 2 of her teammates do not have it. Faceless Void and Ogre are dead for a minute.
Faceless Void going in. Elmisha's Monkey King always there on time, whether it's just a Boundless Strike or if there's an Orchid that he decided to go for. They can go in and end the game. Like this. Luna does not have ulti. Queen of Pain does not have ulti. They don't have enough damage. I want to see the big push coming out from Hokori and try to end the game, especially with SD and the illusions.
Yeah, just go for it. Get straight on top of them. Wukong zones him away from the throne. Michael almost dying inside his own fountain.
Alone?
The focus on the tier 4s. Refresher there, and Alone, he's dead. Yuma clears up the Queen of Pain with ease. Tier 4's dropping very quickly. Vitali straight on top of the Luna with the Doom and the War Stomp. Lumiere doesn't have a chance. Buyback not available either, so game 1. An upset here against Infamous. GG is called, and Hokori win their first individual game of the season.
Yeah, we talked about how they have a good draft. They were feeling themselves in this one. Like, made a bit of a mistake at the early stages, but Morphling, man, he played an extremely good game. Yuma managed to die only 1 time, and also Elmisha was all over the place. Like Shadow Demon, like this is what I talked about. Shadow Demon completely ruins Luna. Luna used first ulti once she got Aghanim Scepter. Before that, we did not see a single Eclipse, which shouldn't happen. Like, this is just not a thing.
Like 35 minutes in, first Eclipse comes out. Yeah,
it's not on the team. Like, that's kind of a you problem in this situation, considering it's been going on for 30 minutes that you are unable to use like one good Eclipse. But it also comes back down to Shadow Demon being able to completely annihilate Luna in every single fight. And they had the better scaling lineup. Hokori, if it comes down to like super late game, having a Doom, double Doom, Puck, Axe Coil, Morphling being 6-slotted, Shadow Demon against Luna, outdrafted. Like, Hokori had much better draft period.
Well, superb stuff, and we've seen some good things from them in their losses, but yeah, being 0-2 3 times in a row, arguably against the 3 better teams in the league. Infamous probably up there as one of the top 3, top 4 teams as well. A surprise for sure, but we'll toss it back to the panel and see what they thought about this game 1 upset as Hokori take the victory.
Well, it is a solid victory in the end for Hokori, but I think this game provided quite a lot of interesting moments for us, at least. Hokori getting the first Roche kill, we can see the Luna going for the Aghanims build at the end. Not enough to turn the game around. Gents, I think this was a pretty interesting game 1. What would you say?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we came into this series Kind of thinking that maybe Infamous was gonna win 2-0, judging by the previous results, but I am very pleased with what I'm seeing. I did not expect Hokori to come out so strong.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I also really have to go back to the draft and think. I really feel like they made this game hard for themselves. You know, I don't feel like the Luna really did that much in the team fights, and they last picked that hero. And I actually feel like they played really well with the Faceless Void. Like he played really well in the first 25 minutes of the game, and even still, they didn't won. With the mid lane being as decisively on Infamous side, right? I was not a big fan of the Offlane Faceless Void. You know, I'm the type of guy that if someone adds ketchup to my burger, I'm gonna try once. I'll see if it's good. I love experimentation. I think they might have gone a little bit too far. Maybe that was not the right game for the Offlane Faceless Void. Just not impressed with the drafting.
Ketchup on the burger it's quite intense. It's quite much. I agree. Ooh,
Yeah.
So much experimentation, Bowie. Careful.
I mean,
Sorry,
you got to
sorry,
start
sorry.
somewhere. If you're thinking about like, will you go simple? Will you look for something more a bit that I don't know, maybe complex? But we did talk about in the draft that we might be seeing some experimentation from both sides, and maybe the whole series is going to be like that before we even jump into game 2 of the draft, which is going to be starting at some point. But still, we did get some flavor to it. You say it's too much. Wingblade, would you agree with Bowie? Was it a bit too much?
In hindsight, probably yes. I didn't really hate the Void offlane. I just kind of hated the fact that they had Luna picked into Shadow Demon and Morphling. There could have been a timing where they would have had a really strong Luna and they could have like gone for some kind of push, but even that is kind of difficult against the Shadow Demon, especially when you put so much of your farm on a single hero against the Doom. That tends to be really scary. If you want to go for some kind of timing push, you cannot do that against Doom. But yeah, overall, I'm very pleased to see such a good game to start off with.
Well, at least our first game did offer some moments. Maybe we're going to be seeing more during the course of this series, but I think it's a good moment to take a tiny break and a tiny breather, get ourselves prepared for what's to come in game number 2. So don't disappear anywhere. We'll be back in a couple minutes for the next game.